Welcome back to the Manky table. It's been some time, but your girl is back with another repaint, or should I say restoration, of Vanessa from The Little Mermaid. So I got this doll in a bundle a long time ago, and I was pretty happy to have an original Vanessa from that old Disney set, but I mean, she was crusty, musty, dusty as fuck. Like, look at her face. I don't know what happened, but some kid decided to turn her into the guy from Saw. And I mean, like, there's markers all over her face, her hair is all messed up, like, I mean, and she has like a bindi in her forehead. Listen, it's a mess. And then she also has the felt tip pen on her legs, this ultra fluorescent pink. That's gonna be a nightmare to get off. On her hands, the hands are the worst, and she's also being crucified? I mean, I guess she's a villain, but crucifixion's a bit too much, no? I guess. And yeah, some could also use her as a chew toy, essentially. So, it's a mess. And then you can see that her lip has been chipped a bit, so that's gonna need a repaint. Not to mention her hair is just really matted and messy and being held by this manky, disgusting band, the rubber band that has been here for like maybe 5,000 years. Yeah, so it's gonna take a lot of work. But I gotta say though, I am happy she came with her original shell accessory necklace because, I mean, she's missing her outfit and her shoes. That's a bummer, but I can always replace them or buy them. But this shell is a bitch to get, so I'm super happy she had this part of her accessory. And now, without any further ado, on to the repaint, or restyling, I guess. So first things first, I get some nail polish remover and try to remove the pink felt tip marker, which as you can see did fuck all basically. So I said, you know what, let me take care of the hair first. I removed that rubber band that's been there for 5 million years and had a good opportunity to really admire how matted and clunky her hair was. She really does look like a sea witch with her hair all matted like that, looking like octopus tentacles. But anyway, I gave her a good wash, then a good scrub with my Head & Shoulders shampoo before adding just a little bit of hair conditioner to the ends to make the hair a bit soft, and brushing out the ends with my hairbrush. This was honestly like one of the most enjoyable parts of the restoration process, partly because, you know, it felt satisfying to get the hair all smooth and silky straight, but also it just felt like a bit of ASMR, you know, just removing all that gunk and cleaning her from decades of dirt. Yeah, it felt pretty good. I also gave her a quick boil wash just to make it a bit straight. Next, I applied some benzoyl peroxide to her face to get rid of those pesky felt tip marker stains. This is a common method used in the doll community to get rid of marker and pen stains on dolls' faces and bodies, because basically nothing else gets those stains out, essentially. And you can already see after the first coating how much of a difference it has made and how less you can see those stains. But for me still, I found that the benzoyl peroxide was good, but it was working kind of slow for my liking. So it was like soda. Soda is used in every Slavic household for everything. Soda is used for cooking, it's used for cleaning, it's used for washing, it's used for getting rid of stains, it's used for food. For example, you can add some soda to like pancake batter and they're gonna be more crispier and fluffier. Anyway, soda is life in Slavic households. So I was like, let me mix some soda with the benzoyl peroxide because I know it's gonna make a difference. And guess what? I was right. Look at this. I mean, look at this. First layer of benzoyl peroxide and soda off. Already you can see the difference. Look, her binti is gone. She's no longer culturally appropriating, which is a win for everybody. Yay! Look at this. This is amazing. Her face looks brand new. I mean, there is like a bit of a residual stain here and there, but compared to what was there before, she looks like she's just gone off the shelf. Like, she looks brand new. This is amazing. Whoever invented benzoyl peroxide, I really hope that your pillow is cold on both sides every single night, that you have lots of money, that your kids love you, but you're probably dead, so it's not gonna happen. But anyway, just know that we love you. Peace. This part, the hands here, they were a bit difficult for me, so I had to apply a few layers of the benzoyl peroxide and soda, but in the end it was worth it because it got rid of like the worst felt tip marker stains, and she looks amazing now. She looks like brand new. And I gotta say, like, I'm looking proud of myself for coming up with the idea to mix soda with benzoyl peroxide because it really did the trick of removing even the toughest stains. I mean, like, Persil and Vanish ain't got shit in soda and benzoyl peroxide. Like, look at my girl now. She looks brand new. There is no trace of the stains that were there, and she was looking like your man from Saw. Like, so that really did that. Anyway, to make her missing dress, I was lucky enough to have the most recent Vanessa doll from the Disney toy set. So I just basically took her, said, oh, that dress looks nice, let me just remake it. And I got a bunch of fabrics from the local art shop to remake her dress, basically. Now, if you know me, you'll know that I am not a seamstress. I'm an artist. I know fuck all about sewing and I'm really shit at it, but you know, that can always change. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm still gonna try to do it because I want to learn how to do it. And to make it a bit easier for me, I basically just took the dress from the other Vanessa doll and literally just traced it over on a piece of paper. I didn't want to cut it up like I usually do for the clothes I make for dolls, so I thought this would be the better alternative, and it was. So it was pretty easy to make the templates for the corset and stuff, but for the skirts, that was a bit difficult. So I basically got this old Rapunzel doll dress that I had in storage and cut up the skirt, and then just basically traced the skirt on a piece of old newspaper to have a good template. It was quite handy to have the other dress because I basically used it to make this one because they're pretty much identical, and it was quite easier for me, especially as somebody who's just starting to learn how to sew. Now, I am gonna say that for a lot of the parts I did use glue rather than sewing to stitch it on, and maybe this is a bit cheating, I'm not sure, but for me it was easier that way and it kind of looks neat. And also when you have like these little tiny details and little bits, it's a bit finicky to sew them, especially without a sewing machine, so I was like, fuck it, it's gonna be glue. And it still looks good, so I'm gonna use it that way. These little bits on the corset, these strings, whatever they are, they were the most difficult part by far, and I actually had to redo them several times because I was not happy with how they looked. Eventually it turned out well, but it was a pretty big hassle. But yeah, overall, I was pretty happy with how it looked, and compared to the original dress, I think they are pretty similar. Maybe not completely, but give me some grace, you know, I'm just starting to learn, so. I really did enjoy sewing the dress though, because it was a good practice for me. And, you know, sewing is quite finicky and fiddly, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And I realized that I'm starting to get a hang of this, so I'm quite happy with my progress so far, and hopefully in the future I'm going to be making a bit more complex dresses. But, you know, as they say, practice makes perfect, and I'm happy with where it's going so far. I know it would probably be easier to buy a sewing machine, but, you know, I kind of want to learn how to do it by myself first. I want to get down the basics, and I want to know how to do this. And then I'm going to get a sewing machine, you know, I can always get it. But for the time being, I'm just going to focus on learning how to sew myself, and eventually, when I get bored of it, I'm going to get the machine and do it properly, I guess. Overall, making the dress and getting rid of her stains was the most difficult part by far, but once that was over, there was just one thing left to do, and that was to plump up her lips, you know, give her the old Botox treatment. And this was the easiest thing. I basically just mixed some pink paint and put it on her face, and now she looks amazing. Now for the finishing touches of pastel blush, as per usual, and she's done. You know, you gotta admire how the dress turned out, because this was like my second sewing project overall, and it turned out not too bad. I mean, I know I was using the other dress as reference, but still, it's not that easy. And overall, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I mean, I made good use of the other dress and some spare materials I had lying in my cupboard, and overall, I'm very happy with it. And for those of you who don't know, my first sewing project was in my Anastasia custom doll video, where I basically made her green coat without any templates, essentially, and you can see it turned out pretty shit. But you know, if you compare the two, the first project and the second one, the difference is like night and sky. And you know, I did use a second dress for the second project, so I was kind of cheating a bit, but still, it just goes to show, the more you practice, the better you get, or something like that. Now for the shoes, I was very lucky because I have this big bag full of extra doll accessories, and I had the perfect pair of lacquered black shoes, which are exactly what the original doll wears, so it was my day basically. And here is the finished product. You know, I'm really happy with how she turned out. I really like the dress, the face. I think she looks perfect, and I just can't say enough about how happy I am that all the stains did come out, because they were absolutely horrendous. But she looks perfect now, and I'm super happy that I didn't have to buy the original dress. I just made it myself, and I had the shoes too. And this is her with her twin sister. You can see they have quite a different skin tone, but otherwise they look pretty much alike. So I'm really happy to have both the original and the newer Vanessa dolls in my collection. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any repaint suggestions, please feel free to let me know. And in the meantime, until next repaint!